boy, do I know how to start a show. Hi, gang. Oh, what's happening over here? What's going on over here? What is happening? Let's always a big to do. I do not understand why the Oh, thank God. Now it's live. Oh, thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Um Hi everyone. Welcome to Catt Chatt. My name is Tomcat. If you if you're here, that means you're here. On this episode today, we're going to be discussing superheroes. Why people cosplay as superheroes, why people dress up as superheroes, why the Times Square superheroes always get a little rowdy around convention time. Um, you'll have to forgive me. I had incredibly salty chips. And this is as close to superhero garb as I get. I was going to wear a Batman cowl, but then I said, the hell with that. The absolute hell with that. Oh my goodness, because those cows, man, they are, they, so let's talk about the costume for the superhero. So let's take Batman, because that's an easy one. The cowl, I sometimes wonder myself how I got into my Batman costume, to tell you the God's gracious truth. Um, my Batman costume was created with the help of Big Hero Vince and Batsquez. Please go and follow them on social media. They are absolutely delicious individuals, and I treasure and adore their friendship. Um, and I tell you, I cosplayed as Batman just for the hell of it, and because it shocked the hell out of everybody. I remember walking around Comic Con as Batman, and people were just like, "Oh my God, that's a huge Batman! Look at the cape! Look at the..." And I was just like, "Yeah, huh, huh, huh." It was really one of those moments in time when I was like, "Wow, is this what it's like to be a superhero? I wouldn't want to get used to that." Um, and I tell you, it was nice. It was nice because I mean, every time I go to a convention, or every time I see a convention, there's always the, oh, Superman, oh, Spider-Man, oh, Batman, oh, Wonder Woman, oh, no one gives love to the lesser characters. You go to these conventions, and what do you see? You see photographers shooting the DC heroes, the Marvel heroes, the Disney heroes, the Disney princesses. Um, and that's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous, and I am not taking that away from those cosplayers. But it stands to reason, doesn't it, though, darlings? It stands to reason that you see, and you watch, and you view all of these cosplayers and getting their notoriety and whatnot. Like Dynamite Webber is a fabulous example of a gorgeous Nightwing. Oh my God, be still my heart. Um, I'm trying to think of other examples of good Batman cosplayers that I can't think of off the top of my head. Um, I'm also trying to. I mean, Dynamite Webber is definitely one of those examples of a real genuine stand-up guy. Um, but but it's hard. It's hard cosplaying as a superhero. Um, it was even difficult for me, in my infinite glamour and panache. It was still very difficult to be Batman. Um, and the costumes aside, it's it's a character that a lot of people have done. So it's almost like acting, where it's like you're playing this character that so many have played before you. What can you do that's different? What can you do that's the same? What can you bring to the table that is uniquely different? Um, one of the superheroes that I ended up cosplaying as years ago was Black Canary, and it was so bizarre how I did it, because I was like, I had the leather jacket, I bought the leather singlet, I bought the blonde wig, I had the boots, I had the fishnets, I had the stockings, so I said, the hell with it, and I did it. but that's just one member of the DC pantheon of characters. Um, yes, Chrissy, Dynamite's Nightwing is immaculate. His work is so fabulous, just absolutely fabulous. And I feel terrible that I didn't, like do my homework and look. I'm like, who is this? What's the name of this cosplayer? What's the name of that cosplayer? Um, because I know everybody. But it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating that you cosplay as these characters, and they're all heroic. They all have their heroicism. I believe that's the term I want to grasp at. If that is a word, I hope it is. Um, it's marvelous. It's absolutely, absolutely marvelous to be able to cosplay as a superhero. And to those that can do it and do it well, God bless you. Um, but there's also a dark side of cosplaying a hero. There's definitely a dark side. I've noticed. Um, a lot of the time, people who will cosplay as superheroes aren't all that super heroic. Now, first and foremost, let me preface this by saying this is not, ooh, Tom Cat is spilling the tea, Mom is spilling all the tea on the people who are assholes. No, none of that. I'm just saying that sometimes the heroes that we cosplay as, or the heroes that people cosplay as, are not always that nice. I can certainly say that there are cosplayers out there. Oh, hi, buddy. Hi, honey. Um, as I knock my mic out of orbit. Um, yeah, it's mighty interesting to see people, cosplay as superheroes, and then you find out just how nasty and how ruthless and how arrogant. And I want to take this time to discuss, dressing up as a superhero. You're playing as this superhero. You're playing as this character that is so steeped in history. Um, and you in doing that, in cosplaying as this character, you're sort of imbuing their morals. You're doing what the hero would do in any type of situation. Um, but I feel like cosplaying as a superhero is almost a cop out. I feel like cosplaying as a superhero is too easy. It one of the reasons why I did Batman was just to shock the hell out of people. I did it because it was something that I strayed so far from. I cosplayed as Catwoman. I've cosplayed as Harley Quinn, Black Canary, Poison Ivy. My Disney characters, I've cosplayed as Disney villains. I don't cosplay as superheroes. I'm not gay enough. Um, with that in mind, um, I feel like cosplaying as a superhero is easy. In terms of me saying it's easy, you cosplay as a superhero, and it gets you noticed. It gets you noticed, friends. That's the big takeaway from cosplay. You cosplay as a superhero, and it gets you noticed because it gets you photos, it gets you photo ops, it gets you the, oh, Batman, come and take a picture with my family. It gets you all of that. It gets you all of this attention, it gets you all of these accolades. And that's wonderful. But don't let that make you an arrogant, vain son of a banister. Um there's cosplaying as Batman, and then there's like the it's the duality of man. It really is. It's the duality of man because when you go to the convention and you're in that big costume and you have that long cape, regardless of superhero, and you have your chest out and you have that mean mug on, or you have that proud look on your face, that's going to get you attention. That's going to get you. That's going to get you in. That's why I see so many people who are just like, oh, I need to cosplay as Superman, I need to cosplay as Batman, I need to cosplay as Wonder Woman, I need to cosplay as Wolverine, Cyclops, just any facet of superhero. Um, and it always amuses the absolute hell out of me because I'm like, do something obscure. I don't cosplay as Luke Skywalker. I don't cosplay as Ben Kenobi. I cosplay as Akmina. I would cosplay as Darth Vader in a second if I was given the opportunity to. Um and it's just really one of those fabulous things that I've noticed. I've noticed that so many cosplayers who cosplay as superheroes and so many people who dress up as superheroes, how arrogant some of them can be and how prideful and how vain some of them can be. Um Now, mind you, that's not to say that not all superheroes, not all superhero please spare me. I've seen so many people on both sides of the coin, but it's one of those things where it's like if you're going to cosplay as a superhero, that means you know of the superhero and you know some of the mythos behind that superhero. You know the history of that superhero. And you want to have some of those morals. You want to have some of those ethics. And please excuse me. And it's really one of those fabulous things where it's like, if you're going to do it, then do it right. And understand the history of the character and understand just how many transformations the character's gone through. Um, uh, and it could be asked of me, like, oh Tom, why do you cosplay as villains all the time? Because they're fabulous. They're fabulous. They're bold. They're over the top. I'm not going out and cursing somebody at their christening. I mean, I might if I'm not invited, but still, there's always this moral compass that people have. And when you put on that superhero suit, you're putting on a history. You're putting on a history of this character. And and as such you know of the history of that character. And you know just how I'm trying to think of the words here. How much of a safe space you become when you are dressing up as that superhero. But when the costume comes off, man, some people are just not nice. Mm. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, well, what are you talking about? What is it the Tomcat is trying to get at? So there are cosplayers that I know of and that I have found out from, um, that they're just not nice people. There are some superhero cosplayers that gaslight. There are some cosplayers out there that are abusive. There are some superhero cosplayers out there that are rapists and that are racists, if you could believe. Like, and it's one of those things where we have to say to ourselves, the cosplay community is so vast, but it's also very tiny. Cosplay in and of itself is this microcosm that is so small but still so vast. Um, and it's really one of those things that we have to say to ourselves, like, do we want to include people that are abusive into the fold? Do we want to? And I've had this conversation on Cat and Chris, and I've had this conversation with so many people. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to out these people who are these no no good doers? The Because I mean, you always have the expression "do-gooders," so no good doers. But you have these people out there that are just no good. And the stories are continuously getting backed up by other sources. So it's like, I ask you all, when is it appropriate to out somebody that is abusive? When is it appropriate to out somebody who's done something incredibly heinous? And you know, again, I've had this conversation with Kristen, I've had this conversation with you all. Like, what does it take for a cosplayer that does bad to be known for doing that bad thing? There are some cosplayers that have sort of gone either under the radar or have just disappeared, never to be seen from again. And I couldn't be more thrilled. Um, but I mean, there are people out there who will do bad, who dress up as people who do good. Um, there's an allegory here for everything that's going on in the world today. Um, but it's just so fascinating. It's so fascinating. You know, people think that they can put on this costume and it's just like, oh, I could do whatever the hell I want. No. You put on that costume, there's hope. There's hope in that costume. You don't want to give people false hope. You don't want to go to a convention and be this magnificent character that so many people know and love. And then as soon as you get home, take that off and just be a really awful person. Um there was that one Batman cosplayer who just the absolute worst. He has that tattoo on his chest. I can't remember for the life of me. I can't remember his name. Um, it's just it's so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating that the costume, the cosplay doesn't make the cosplayer. You see me as the Wicked Witch. You see me as Winifred Sanderson. You see me as the Evil Queen. You see me as Catwoman. I mean, granted, yes, I'm a sex bot, but I'm not heartless. I'm very empathic. I'm very sympathetic. I always try to do right by the people that I'm friendly with and friends with. But it's just, oh, Lewis, go to sleep, sweetie. I mean, it's not exactly late in California, but go to bed. Um, Nadell actually was saying something fabulous. Well, those people who are not nice after they take off the costume are just doing it for the likes, and that's exactly it. Unfortunately, some people cosplay for the wrong reasons, but the issue is that a lot of people chose not to know the difference between someone who is good-hearted versus bad-hearted because they seek the popularity the individual has. And that's just, I couldn't have said it better myself. Um, Naquan with the side eyes. Oh, baby, do we have a lot to discuss. Same to you, Brian. Nadell also says it's appropriate to out someone when your soul knows and tells you the person is bad. The problem is so many are too afraid to say something, and of course you need numbers, it seems, to make people aware of the bad doer. And that's even more appropriate. My goodness, Nadell, good for you, sweetie. When your soul knows it, yeah, you ought to cry. Yes, I completely and totally read you correctly, Nadell. But that's the truth. It. I'm trying to think. There was also there's that one Batman cosplay that I can think of off the top of my head. There was also that one cosplayer on Cosplay Melee. Oh man, the stories that came out from him. And you know, it's the same thing as the Vic stands. It's the same thing as the Vic stands. To those who don't know, just Google Vic stands or hashtag Vic stands or hashtag Kick Vic. You will find a slew of things on this one particular voice actor. Um, he voiced these superheroes. He voiced these characters with a lot of good qualities, while he himself was not nice. Was not nice at all. And that's what I'm always so fascinated by. If you're a person and you're going to play a superhero, and you know a superhero does superhero things, loyalty, heroicism, trust, honor, you want to have those morals, which I personally think if you're that type of person, cosplaying as a villain should come second nature to you. Oh, this bottle is so noisy. Um, Naquan, you're so sweet. I just turned in to see your handsome face, but hit me up later. I got home from work. Gonna eat and settle in, but I agree with you. I'm sure you do, darling. Oh, honey. My darling Hanari says, fuck Vic. I've had the unfortunate displeasure of working with that man many, many times. And it's, yes. And that's just it. You go to these conventions and you see these cosplayers cosplay Wolverine, Spider-Man, Cyclops, Batman, Superman. You see them cosplaying as all these heroes when in reality they're just not nice. They're just not nice people, especially when you get to learn about them. And that's one of the beautiful things about cosplay and about voiceover and about drag. You know, you'll see these people dressing up in these gorgeous outfits and these gorgeous ensembles when in reality some of them are just out to make a fast buck and get the likes. And it's like if you're there was one lesson that I learned very early in voiceover. If you're getting into any type of creative field for the money and for the fame and the fortune, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. There's a difference between being a smart business person and someone who's just looking for likes. Lewis, Vic Mignogna, Mignogna. Mignogna. Yep. Yes. He's a voice actor who's done several DBZ. He's a voice actor. He's very infamous. He's very infamous. Dick McN. Oh, Inari, I love you. I absolutely adore you. Yes, Lewis, a lot of cosplayers are clout chasers, and that's another thing. That's another thing that absolutely fascinates the hell out of me. You're getting into costume. Why are you getting into costume? You know, one of the things that this pandemic has really taught us is it's taught us why we do it. Why we do it. Why do we continue to get into costume? I do it because it's fun. I do it because it's a creative outlet. I don't do it for fame. I don't do it for glory. I do it because it's fun. It's fabulous dressing up as these eccentric women that I dress up as. It's fun getting into the skin-tight catsuit. I mean, since the pandemic, it's a little more difficult to get into that catsuit. But it's fabulous. Oh, it's so fabulous to do it. And I feel like some people just forget why they got into their respective fields in the first place. There were a lot of comments coming in. And God bless you all for doing that. Hanari says, see, that's why I stopped cosplaying heroes because the Marvel DC community is just bad. It's true. And then of course, you know, once you get into these communities and whatnot, you see all of these subcategories. You'll see the DC cosplayers, you'll see the Marvel cosplayers, you'll see the Disney cosplayers, you'll see the anime cosplayers, and then there's also the facets of anime. You'll see the DBZ cosplayers, you'll see the My Hero Academia cosplayers, you'll see the Sailor Moon cosplayers. You'll see all of these cosplayers, and they're all connected, and they all know each other. I swear on a stack of holy Bibles, I think that there are maybe tops over 100,000 cosplayers who don't know who I am. And that's just sad. Wait, y'all made money off of this? I just blew through loads of money and cried in the end. Aaron, I love you. Oh, I love you so much. Hanare says a lot of cosplayers are also accused of being clout chasers, even though all they want is to make friends with people they know they'll be seeing a lot. I do it because I'm an attention whore and I like taking pictures of my work. Honestly, Hanare, you and I are on the same page. I do. I love the attention. I will be the first person to admit that. But there are people who want the attention, and then there are people who want more than the attention. And you know, there are also some cosplayers out there like Bella Thorne. To those that don't know, Bella Thorne was a Disney character on the Disney Channel, if I'm not mistaken. And she basically made this big post about, oh my OnlyFans. She made $2 million. $2 million. And all she did was post herself in lingerie. and it caused a big uproar with OnlyFans. And there are some cosplayers out there that do the same thing where they'll post pictures of themselves. And like, listen, if you're going to be a sex worker, God bless you. Go and do. I applaud you. I appreciate you. I would do it myself if I wasn't so hideous. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you're going to have the OnlyFans, you're going to need to put out a lot more than just yourself in a suit. Like, I mean, people are paying you good money to see your goods. Like, come on now, kids, really. Hanari says I make money off of commissions and public appearances. I'll be there one day. I would love nothing more than to make money off of public appearances. I mean, I am a public figure. At least I'm a figure in public. But I mean, it's always so interesting to see the dynamic in cosplayers, because as you continue to dive more into the world of cosplay and into the world. Yeah, exactly. Hanari says she lied to her fans about a nude photo, and it made OnlyFans refund people for thousands of dollars and overhaul our whole payment system because of it. Bella Thorne fucked over a lot of people when she did that. And it's like, you can't pull a publicity stunt like that without, catching some flack for it. She was posting the same stuff as Instagram. And if you're going to have something like that, you're going to need to post more, not even explicit content. I mean, if you want to do explicit content, then more power to you. But posting more than just what you initially post on your Instagram or Facebook. And oh goodness, Nadell is mentioning the Vic debacle. I know several people who were involved with the Vic debacle, and I love and appreciate them so much. Oh God, the Vic debacle. I remember when he made an apology video, and I reposted it asking if anyone believed him. I don't hate him or like him because he's a celebrity. This is Nadell, by the way. And I don't know him, but he's an actor, and I personally felt that his apology was just that, an act. I was curious to see if my friends could sense what I was sending about him, or at the last reply without emotion. Unfortunately, it was 95% emotion in favor or against him. I understand why people felt that way, felt the way they do, but ugh. All we are is his income, so why be in favor of someone who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire? Granted, the media can lie, but I don't see the point in being invested in someone who could be a monster or that just doesn't know or invest in you. And it's true. That's a very true statement, Adele. And the more you get involved into different aspects, into different creative fields and whatnot, there's art discourse, there's voice actor discourse, there's drag discourse, there's so much discourse, and it's all about notoriety. It's all about fame. It's all about why do we do this? Why is Tom Catt doing a show? Why did Catt and Kristen do a show? Why are these cosplayers doing shows, doing podcasts, doing interviews? Because someone needs to be a voice. Someone needs to be a voice to the voiceless. Someone needs to, bring these conversations to light. And trust me, I can have an entire 3-hour long, 4-hour, 25-hour long conversation on the disparity between the colors in the cosplay community. And that alone is worth its weight. Is worth its weight when it comes to superheroes in the cosplay community. How many times have I seen people of color cosplaying as Superman? People being like, "Oh, well, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. Superman is supposed to be white. Superman's an alien. Doesn't matter what his color is. Batman is supposed to be white." And what's your point? Tell me, what is your point? Tiffany says, hello, hi, baby. And Adele says, it's because of the celebrity dramas I see so often is why I don't put much into cosplayers. I could be inspired by another cosplayer's work, but I keep the you ain't shit until you prove that you are in my mind with everyone, especially after how disappointed I have been with the community and friends from within it. Stupid, Lewis said. Yes, it's very true. Very, very stupid indeed. Um, but it's really one of those unfortunate things where we have to like look inside ourselves and say, are these people that I want to be friends with? Are these people that I and let me tell you something, you could very easily be manipulated. I certainly was, and I don't admit that lightly. But I was manipulated by other superhero cosplayers who, put on the Dan and I say hello. Hi, Dan and Caitlin. Hi, kids. Um, but yeah, I've been manipulated by superhero cosplayers because you have friends in the cosplay community. You have friends that you sort of grow up with. You sort of see them grow and blossom into either the best or worst versions of themselves. Um, oh yeah, that's okay. Snooze, snooze. Thank you. Lewis says I cosplay as female cat, and you cosplay as them beautifully. I also cosplay as female characters. I cosplay as female characters. I think I've only cosplayed as two male characters. One technically. One definitely was Batman, and the other one was I mean, I have Midnighter socked away in my in my in my superhero box that has my Catwoman cowl, my goggles, my cat suits, my just all of my superhero accoutrement. Um, what are friends? Lewis, I'm your friend. I'm your friend, Lewis. Um, but there's something I really want to drive home here. Know who your friends are. Know the value of yourself. Know the value of yourself when it comes to being lured into the world of creativity, because there's a lot of evil in this community, kids. You might not realize it, and I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying that to be honest. I'm saying that to be incredibly, incredibly honest. Um, Oh, that's yes. Thank you, Brian. It was two. So there was Batman, and there was also Genie. Genie was someone that I also cosplayed as. Um. Oh wow, there are a lot of comments rolling in. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Lauren says that's why I have learned to just keep my head down. I cosplay for me and with my daughter, and don't take it seriously because I'm not as good as many others. But I've come so far from where I started. Please do not sell yourself short. Excuse me. Do not sell yourself short, Lauren, please. You are far better than you think you are. Nadell says it is all about actions and consistency. It's not nice to be accused of being a clout chaser, but unless effort to show you want to make friends is shown, well, if you're just posting 100 pics and not talking to people like a friend and being sincere, then how else will you be seen? Lewis says thank you for being a friend. Why did you look at me when you said evil, Eric says? Oh, heaven. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's something so there's really no way to describe creative fields. There's no way to describe cosplay. There's no way to describe drag. There's no way to describe because the words to describe them are limitless. The words to describe these places these communities are so limitless. Um, and when it comes to cosplaying as a superhero, that's the reality. That is the reality. If you're going to and I say this with a lot of love and affection to the people that do cosplay as the superheroes. If you're going to cosplay as the superhero, think about what they would do during current events. Think about what they would do during the riots, during the peaceful protests. Think about what they would be doing and how they would be helping or potentially hindering, depending on the superhero. Um, Oh, the evil. Nadell says, oh, the evil is very effing obvious. It's why I just cosplay for myself. Tiffany says, nothing made me more depressed for a while when I realized that the cosplay community can get as messy as a high school drama. And ain't that some tea. So I'm a slacker now because the interest has dropped. Makes you worry if you're worth it. And I've been battling with that this whole year. I recently did just book a position to help my self-esteem. I'm hoping to find somewhere I belong. Honey, you belong. It's just you have to find the people that'll support you and say that you belong, not the people that'll say it just to get their numbers up. Competition in each field. So one of the things that I've learned in all of the years that I've been doing this is to come from abundance and not from scarcity. There's always going to be room in the creative field for others. There's always going to be room at the table. And I think I said this in one of my statuses at some point in my life. Where I basically said there are going to be some people that are further along in their meal than you are at the table. But that's fine. Just because you're starting on the salad doesn't mean that you're not going to get the entree. Everybody says I care about my friends and I care about friendships, but there is no effort to show this. It's just words. Words are pretty, but actions will always speak louder than them. Yes, you are right. You are 100% correct, my friend. Daniela says, hi, baby. Eric is looking to the side because, of course, he is. Eric's responding to Eric. That's fabulous. Tiffany says, I cosplay Captain Marvel to bring the kids joy. It's more for them than for me. And you see, that's the difference. That's the difference. The difference between cosplaying for fame and notoriety and acclaim than cosplaying for the kids, cosplaying for the photo ops. There's a difference between photo ops with kids and photo ops that are, professionally done. Tiffany says it's just a giant ass salad. You're right. You're 100% right. But I want to drive home the fact that a support system is vital. A support system that supports you and whom you support is incredibly important. Like, I think that is one of the most important parts of any creative field that you're a part of. And as long as you give as much as you get, you're going to have a lot of friends. You're going to have a lot of friends. Hairball. I won't tell you whose hair, but it's a hairball. Lois says, I only say competition because people tell me all the time they are threatened by me, and it drives me crazy because they don't give me opportunities because they're threatened by me, so they would rather snuff me out than book me. That doesn't make any sense. That does not make any kind of sense. And Brian says, sometimes I cosplay because I just like the costume design. There, I said it. Do you hate me? Yes. No, I don't hate you, Brian. There are some cosplays out there that I want to cosplay as that are completely and totally out of my comfort zone that I would love to do just because they're so gorgeous. And then there are some cosplays out there that are within my realm, my wheelhouse, we'll call it. And I just love the designs of it. But I really do. I really want to drive home having a support system, having people that you can talk to, and just shoot the shit. We're so busy. We're so busy and we're so focused on numbers. We're so busy and we're so focused on likes and follows and numerics and whatnot. When I was doing my media kit, I was like, should I put my numbers on there? Should I not put my numbers on there? So I was just like, all right, let's round up. Over 9,000 followers across all forms of social media. Doesn't that sound pretentious? Doesn't that sound absolutely pretentious? I think it's miserable. Yes, that is a pop filter. As a matter of fact, Carla should be proud of me. I did buy myself a brand spanking new microphone that I'm going to use for voiceover auditions. It's a Rode. The only thing is I don't have a mic stand. Would you happen to have one? For free? The butthole looks like that. That's what the butthole looks like. But yeah, Eric says, dead ass, wear whatever you want. Don't place value to the opinions of people who aren't valuable to you. That's it. And he's right. Oh, Eric was responding to Brian, and it's true. It's true. Always focus on what you want to do within your realm of expertise. Do it. If you want to cosplay as somebody, do it. Just know that people will always judge you. And those opinions are none of your business. Unless they're paying your bills, pay them bitches, no mine. No mind. So says RuPaul the Fracker. Where am I? Constance says, this is my life design. Kasia says, you are such a beautiful human. I don't even know what's going on, but I love you. I love you too, baby. I do. I love you too. Lewis says, the great thing about this quarantine is I just do drag cosplay for nobody else but me. And that's so vital. Sometimes you just need to put the costume on, to put the makeup on, to do the thing just to say I did it. And because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel proud to be able to do it. It makes you proud to just say, you know what? I took this time to do something for me and me only. Carlos says, nice, NT1, those are great mics, and I might have an extra cent. Oh, I love you, darling. Oh, I love you. Louis says, facts, yes. But to sort of make more of a point, when it comes to cosplaying as a superhero, just know that in any community you're a part of, whether it is superhero cosplay, whether it is Disney princess, whether it is drag, whether it is artistry, whether it is voiceover, whether it is acting, whether it is anything, there's always going to be an asshole. There's always going to be the problem areas. Just know that if you end up becoming friends with the asshole, you find out that they're an asshole sooner rather than later. Because you will end up having to eat crow a little later on in life. I can say from experience, there was one individual who I became very close with, and then we sort of drifted apart. And then I found out how much nonsense they were doing talking behind my back. And it was really one of those moments where I'm just like, wow. After everything I've done for said person, after everything I've done, after all of the fighting for them in their corner, after constantly talking them up and saying, no, they're not that bad, to then find out that they took ill of me, no, I'm sorry. Nope. Try again. Not this bitch. Where am I? Assholes make me sad. Same, Connie. Same. Very much same. Aw, Samantha. Hello, darling. Nadell says, the opinions of others are not one's business, but the cosplay community loves drama as well. It does. I ain't gonna front. Yup. Cosplay community thrives on drama. It's kind of sad that the community complains about drama and chooses not to out the bad ones, but too many love to gossip and spread drama about those that they fear are better than them. But those that are better sometimes aren't bad doers. I think I said that right. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. Louis says people are judgmental. Only thing judge is yourself because only you, not anyone else. Correct. Tiffany says, oh, side note for later. This is kind of more for me, so I'll remember to ask you later. Okay. I'd love it if I can pick your... No, for frack's sake. I'd love it if I can pick your brain about sewing a medieval dress with velvet. You hate yourself. Oh, you hate yourself. I'm making a medieval style shy guy for Mario. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Snaps to that, girl. And I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to sew a lining slip into the dress or to purchase. Honey, unless you're words of advice, unless you are competing, do not worry about buying pieces of your cosplay. Unless you are willing to, say to yourself, I'm doing this for competition purposes only. This is exclusively for competition. Don't worry about it. Whatever's going to make your cosplay come together more easily and more accessibly financial. I think that makes sense. But whatever makes your cosplay easier to make, I guess you can say. That is what I recommend. I recommend to you, whatever makes your cosplayer easier, do that. I'm trying to think. For my, we'll say Queen Luigi. For my Queen Luigi cosplay. Oh, that's another male cat. Well, technically male, female, mixed. For my Queen Luigi cosplay, I bought my hat. I bought the mustache. I bought the gloves. I bought the boots. I bought the jeans. The only thing I made was the dress and the cape, which is a gorgeous cape, by the way. But yes, whatever makes your outfit easier to assemble. Thank God for that word. Nadell says the shit talkers are always the most insecure. It's true. It's very true. Tiffany, preach. Nadell, thank you, Tomcat, for being able to read me correctly, even when autocorrect is being a bitch. Well, Tiffany, I believe Connie is asking you stretch velvet or regular. I personally use both because, you see, I hate myself. Tiffany says, I do kind of want to compete, but I don't want to murder my sanity. Honey, compete, sanity. You're only going to be able to have one. Not going to be able to have both. I can say that with certainty. I've competed 3 times, and each time I've lost my goddamn mind. And I have every intention of competing when conventions open, when that happens. Trying to think where else I can take this conversation. There's always going to be assholes. Connie says, I do love my, I love my capes. Oh, I love my capes. I love capes. Ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I always wanted to have something long and flowing behind me. Whether it was a man or a cape, both. Sure. Terrific. But yeah, I always say when it comes to cosplay, do what's easiest. Unless you want to say, I made that. Unless you want to say, that's me that did that. Then do that. I personally would. Cosplay is always what you make of it. Drag is always what you make of it. It always depends heavily on what you want it to be. Tiffany says it's a two-way stretch. Yes. Actually, yeah, you two figure it out in the comments section. I trust you. Tiffany, you're in fabulous hands when it comes to Connie. Fabulous hands. But yeah, so that's how I feel on the subject when it comes to superheroes. There's always going to be people that will want to cosplay and have the moral high ground in terms of, like, there are some people that'll be like, oh, well, I cosplay as Batman. Just because you put on a costume doesn't mean you have the same morals as the character that you're cosplaying as. And I feel like some people forget that. I truly, I feel that some people forget that. Just because you put on the costume doesn't mean that you are imbuing the same morals and the same values of that character. Do you know how many people have written Wolverine? Do you know how many people have written Batman? Do you know how many people have written Superman? Come now, really. Let's be honest here. There are so many people out there that have just written these characters to be anti-heroic, to make them almost like villains in some stories and in some set of circumstances. That isn't to say that there are villain cosplayers out there that are very similar to the characters they're cosplaying as. I know several Joker cosplayers that are very much like that character, and I tell you, they no. Um, which is something that I also mentioned on Cat and Kristen was just because you're cosplaying as the character doesn't mean you have to be exactly like the character. Cosplaying as a villain can be as simple as "Hello, darling," "Hello, sweetie," just absolutely fabulous the hell out of it. Um, it could be as simple as that. Or it could be as simple as, cackling maniacally, holding a crowbar during a picture of you with Robin. It doesn't have to be, "Hey Harley, want me to beat you?" That's disgusting. It's disgusting. Let's not do that. Let's make it so that if you're going to cosplay as a character, you have an ounce of discretion. An ounce of discretion. Um Oh, good, they found each other. I'm so happy. Just do it. I am old, and just do it for me and and to want to make me happy. Connie. Oh, you're a riot. Um, Tiffany to Connie. Fair enough. I have to take apart the. Oh, all right. They're doing their talking in there. Um, I've spoken for a good 50 minutes on this subject. Um, I think it's time to end the live feed. I am thinking of like making these, 45 minutes, 50 minutes to an hour, depending on the topic of conversation. But I adore you all. I do. I truly treasure all of you, all who watch, all who don't watch. I just treasure all of you. Stephanie Stensland said, "Yeah, Deadpool's also Deadpool's." Again, to end on a high note, to end on a note of advice and advisement. Just because you're putting on the character doesn't mean you are the character. You can have some of the same morals, you can have some of the same affectations, you can even have the same voice, but you don't own that character. You are not that character. Try. You can certainly try to have the same morals, but even then, I wouldn't want to be Batman. I wouldn't want to be Superman. I wouldn't want to be any superhero, to tell you the God's gracious truth. But always, always know your worth. Always know your importance. Whether in whatever creative venue you're a part of, just know that you are incredibly important and that you are loved. And to always build yourself a phenomenal support system. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I don't even have to because the end button is right there. Oh, I love it. I love it. But yes, please be good to yourselves. Please know that I love and cherish all of you. And I'll see you next week for another episode of Catt Chat. Ciao meow for now, guys. I love you very much.